Howdy my dear YouTuber friends, and I do hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. In this video we're going to be setting up the Dualsense Controller from scratch. This is for PlayStation 5 new flight simmers in Flight Simulator 2024. You do get a default controller scheme for the Dualsense controller on PlayStation 5, but it can be quite confusing. There's a lot of buttons and a lot of functions you're simply not likely to use, and some of them can do things like turn your aircraft engines off, and can just be a bit of a mess for new pilots. So we're going to delete all the assignments on our Dualsense and set it up from scratch. I'll be doing it on PC at my end, but it should be the same whether it's on PC or PlayStation 5. It should behave the same way. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with this video. Okay, we're going to start from the main menu, the main page in Flight Sim 2024. It should be the same for everybody. You can see here at the top, if you click in, I've got my Dualsense attached to my PC. Click in the right analog stick. It will take you to this menu up here. I've got a mouse attached as well. But you know, now I've done that, I'll have to click in that right through again. And then I can move along to the cog icon. That's the settings icon. Do that yourself and click on X. And as you can see at the top there, left and right bumper. Left and right bumper will take you across all these menus at the top. You want to get across to controls. So right bumper to controls. And in here you want to make sure that your Dualsense controller is selected. Mine is, because I've got a picture to the right. If it's selected, if it's the one you're altering, you'll have a picture to the right. And it should be by default for PlayStation anyway. Now, here you can see we've got some controls set up from the simulator. It's set up some automatic controls. You've got a padlock icon next to these. It means you can't delete these controls. If I could try, look, you can't delete them, you can't clear them. You can click on that cog icon next to it to affect it. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But I can't delete it. I can duplicate it, which we will do. And then we can delete our duplication controls. That will make sense as we go through it. Don't worry about all these categories. General, airplane, specific. I've got a video, which I'll link down below, that goes into these in detail. I don't want to spend too long on it in this video. It's going to be long enough. By the way, I better say this going forward, the video is time-stamped, so if there's a specific control you want to set up, or you want to come back to it at a later date, do it bit by bit, you can do that. So video links about all these profiles down below in the description. Whatever you set up, it will go into one of these categories automatically, so don't worry too much about these categories. Let's just keep this nice and simple. What we do want to do, have a mouse attached. Get a USB mouse and stick it in your PlayStation 5. It should work, and it's going to make your life a lot easier. I want to go to this box up here. Click on it, and then go to Assigned. So this box up here, Assigned. And it will show us all the controls we've got set up. There's a lot of stuff here you're not going to use. There's drone controls, which you might want to use. But you can always set that up later on. There's VR, you use that in the future, but certainly not yet. Next, what's that? Next, previous, detent, smoke, toggle. There's a lot of stuff here, and there's some dangerous stuff here that can actually shut your engine down. It's just very confusing. Look at it. There's a lot of stuff here. It looks slew translation backwards, forwards. It can be useful if you know what you're doing. Cursor up, cursor right, skip, RTC. Now, we're going to get rid of all of this and set up our own controls. The way to do that, click on this cog icon next to... Don't worry about specific. There's nothing specific for most aircraft. That's for things like hot air balloons. A couple of aircraft types will use specialized controls. Most don't. So don't worry about this one. The Cessna 182 I've got selected there, we're going to change it to the 172 later, doesn't have anything specific. So we're just going to delete general and airplane controls. These are your main two. Click on the cog icon next to general and go to duplicate. So cog icon, duplicate. I'm going nice and steady for new pilots. You need to rename the profile once you duplicate the default profile, or any profile, you need to rename it. So we'll call it Dual, and that's how you spell Dual for DualSense, by the way. New for me, there you go. Dual 1. And okay. And basically all the controls are going to remain the same because we've just duplicated them. We've copied all these controls across to a new profile. As you can see, you've got general and airplanes controls there. And nothing in specific for most aircraft. There you go. General and airplanes. Too many controls there. We've duplicated it. Brilliant. That's the first step. Do the same for airplanes. Cog icon. Duplicate. Rename it. Dual 1. We can call them the same just to keep it all nice and even. There we go. We've copied both of those default profiles. Let it just update. There we go. What we're going to do now is delete everything we've got assigned. You notice the lack of the padlock icon. It means we can affect these controls now, what's in here. So airplanes, you can see all these airplane controls. We're going to clear them all. To do that, under airplane controls, cog icon, click on it, and click on clear. You'll notice all these will disappear. It'll say, are you sure you want them to be cleared? Yep. Look, all the airplane ones have disappeared. We'll do the same for general. So airplanes we've done it for general. Cog icon. Clear. Yeah, we want it to be cleared. Okay. Look, under assigned, we have nothing assigned on our new profile. That's going to worry some of you. Don't worry. We've got nothing assigned to this controller at the moment. It's blank. If you want your default controls, just use this arrow key here to go back one, and you've got your default profiles back. There you go. They're all back. We don't want to do that. We want to set up our own controls, so use this forward arrow to get back to our profiles we've just set up and cleared. And we'll continue with the next step. Okay, here's where the fun begins. We're going to set up some controls. Now, before we do this, let's get on a runway. Free flight. You may not have that aircraft. You won't on PlayStation 5 yet. The aircraft list. To change your aircraft, go to free flight, which we've done. Click on the aircraft icon, top left. So use your controller to do that. Let me use my controller. How do I use my controller to get up there? You know, I'm not sure with the DualSense controller. How do you use it, people, to get to your aircraft switch to panels? There we go. It's triangle button to switch to panels. Then I can press my X on my DualSense controller to change my aircraft type. These are all in alphabetical order. So it starts from A. Just go to C. So A, B, you may have different aircraft on yours. I want to get to the Cessna 172, and you should have that as a default aircraft on PlayStation 5. Click your X button to select it, and then save and back. We're going to use that aircraft, and let's use the DualSense controller just to keep it. So just to show you that you can do this if necessary with the DualSense, but I recommend a mouse using my trigger buttons to zoom in. I'll just set up from Manchester Airport. Set as departure. So X button and X again. And then you can see the icon to start flight. There we go. I've just clicked it. And we should be on the runway at Manchester Airport. We are in our Cessna 172. But remember, we've just cleared all our profiles, all our controls. So ready to fly, clicked X. How do I get inside? Well, now then. Has it put me back? Interestingly enough, it might have put me back to, because I've changed aircraft, to the default controls. It has. It's switched me back to the default controls. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put us back. When you change aircraft, it might switch you back to default controls. So we're going to change these back to the controls we've just cleared. Dual 1, using that arrow button on both of them. Make sure they're both in dual 1. Save them back. Resume. Now, when I do that, move my analog sticks, nothing's happened. I've cleared all the controls. I just want to get inside. Now, what button? Ah, there you go. I've just used my keyboard to get inside the aircraft, because it's important for what we're going to set up. And I can use my mouse to angle down my view down. If you've got a mouse attached, you should be able to do this on PlayStation 5. Right mouse button, move your view down, because we want to look at some of these controls in a moment. Let's set some things up. We'll go to settings. By the way, even if you cleared all your controls, your pause button will still work to get you to the settings. It must be there, whatever you do to controls. If you clear them all, the pause button still works to get you to this menu. Using my DualSense to go to settings, I can still use my bumper buttons to get across the controls, and I'll use my mouse now just to make life easier for me, and it would be easier for you if you do that too. We'll go to flight controls, services, because we're going to set up some basic controls. So from this menu, you should be on there. Make sure your DualSense is selected. Flight control services. And primary flight control services. We're going to scroll down this page till we see aileron axis and elevator axis. They're a bit further down. They're at the bottom. Aileron, elevator. Elevator is going forward and backwards, so descending and climbing. Aileron axis is moving left to right. So we'll do our elevator first, and we're going to put these on our left analog stick. So I'm going to click in the box, and it will say start scanning, and I'm going to move my analog left down or up. I'll move it down. So click in the box in elevator axis, move my analog stick down. There you go. You can see it's the correct axis. Aileron, left or right. Click in the box, move your left stick left or right. I'll move it left. Go back, save and back, and resume. Now, if I move my analog stick left, yeah, you can see it's moved my yoke left. Move it right. So it's a bit sensitive. We'll address that later. And if I move it backwards, it will climb when I'm in the air. If I move it forward, it will descend. All very good. Let's continue with setting up more. We'll do rudders next. So go to settings. Controls. You can use your DualSense. I'm just using mouse to get there quicker. Flight control services. Once you're in controls. So nice and slow for you. Flight control services. Primary control services. And we should see rudder left or right. I believe rudder axis doesn't work on the DualSense trigger. I'm going to try it. Rudder axis. It works on Xbox, not on, I believe, on the Xbox controller, not on the DualSense, at least on PC. I'll click on it, click in this box, and click in my left trigger. I'm going to set rudders to the trigger. You can't see them here, but you know where the triggers are on your DualSense. Click on it, left trigger. Yeah, it's not, so that's not the way. I'm just going to unbind that. There should be, once you hover over a binding, you should see at the bottom left there an unbind button. I don't see it on my DualSense, but I see it on my keyboard, so I can press that to unbind it. So rudder, we're going to do left and right axis. So left trigger for left axis, right trigger for right axis. So click in rudder, axis left, left trigger, rudder, axis right, and right trigger. There we go. And just test it. Once you've done that, this is why we've spawned in on a runway. So we can test the controls. Just move my mouse down. I can hide that yoke visibility by left clicking on my mouse if you have a mouse attached. I'm going to move my rudder left and right, and it works absolutely fine. I can bring that rudder back in. We're going to use that later. Let's continue. So continuing, we're going to set up now some throttle and brakes. So use the button on the controller, pause to get to the menu. I'm going to use my DualSense for this. Settings and controls. I'll use a mix of mouse and DualSense just so you can see it's possible with both, but a mouse is better. Okay, so what we're going to do first, we'll do throttle first. Throttle. You have to come down on this menu a little bit, scroll down rather, until you get to power management. So from the top, it's a little bit further down, past brakes, power management. Click into that, and then click on throttle. Or throttle rather. And here, now let me just see, it's throttle increase we want, and I believe it's at the bottom. There you go. At the bottom of that throttle menu, you've got increase throttle and decrease throttle. We're going to use X to increase, I think that's by default anyway, and the circle to decrease. So increase throttle, click in the box and click your X button. There we go. And decrease throttle. And I'm going to use... Oh, what's happened there? No, didn't do anything. It went a bit strange. Went very strange. Bear with me a second. That might happen to you, so I'll keep it in. I'm going to scroll down till I get to power management again. Click into it. Click into throttle. I bought this DualSense recently. It is rattling a little bit in my hand, and it shouldn't be. Might have to go and replace it. I'm not sure if that's a Windows setting or the DualSense is a bit wonky. It will do for this video. Decrease throttle, I'm going to use the circle button, so click into it. And circle button. There we go. We'll go back, shall we test that? Always test when you set up controls, so I'm going to press my X button, hold it in, and it will increase my throttle. Press the circle button, hold it back, it will decrease my throttle. Like so, so that's working fine. Brakes, and then we'll test whether all this is working actually. We go to settings again. Let me know if I'm going too fast. I know you can't, but I'll try and keep it in mind so I don't go too fast. In controls again. So controls, DualSense selected. Scroll down the menu again till you get to brakes. It's just a little bit further down. So from the top, brakes. Click in the box. Brakes. In this menu, in the brakes menu, go to the brakes sub-menu. And just where it's got brakes, we're going to select our square button for this. You can put these wherever you want, but this is my memory sort of goes straight to these buttons. Click in the box and then click the square button. There we go. And parking brakes. I'm going to use the triangle button. So click in the box. Set toggle parking brakes. We want this, so it'll toggle them on or off. So click in the box. Oh, is that going to... Yeah, if you don't keep your mouse there, if you're using the mouse and you don't keep it there, it will say scan cancelled. So click the triangle button. There you go. Toggle parking brakes. So brakes and parking brakes. Hope you're following along. Go and rewatch if this is too fast for your first time. You can always rewatch. I'm going to hide the yoke visibility by left clicking it on my mouse. If I click the parking brake button, watch this handle go up. There you go. I've released the parking brakes. I'm just going to move my view up a little bit with my mouse, because I'm going to increase my throttle a little bit to test all this. I should start moving forward. Okay. The noise is coming out of my controller for the aircraft. Isn't that interesting? I didn't know it did that. Moving my... Oh, the triggers are adaptive on PC as well. Moving my triggers left or right. They're a bit sensitive, but I can fix that. Bring that throttle back with my circle button. And then brake, not parking brake, brakes to test the brakes to see if they're working. They are fine. And then I can click on the parking brake button and put on my parking brake and put my yoke back in. It's going well, isn't it? I hope so for you. Let's continue. So now continuing, we're going to set up some flaps and trim. If you don't know what flaps and trim do, I've got a video playlist which is linked down below. It's a course for new pilots, grasping the fundamentals of flights. Go and look at that. Start on episode 1. It talks about trim and flaps, what it does. It's very useful. It'll trim the nose out. If you're climbing too much, you can trim your aircraft nose down to trim out to get to straight and level flight. And with flaps, it helps with taking off and landing. That's basically what they both do. If we go to settings, go to controls. Now, let's do flaps first. So flaps, we've got our DualSense selected, flight control services, and it's secondary control services. So your primary flight controls are your ailerons and an elevator. Secondary control services are things like flaps. We want to increase and decrease our flaps in segments. So 10 degrees, 20 degrees, full flaps, and then decrease them in segments as well. There's a couple of bindings here. Be careful. You've got extend flaps, which will fully extend your flaps completely. Retract flaps will completely retract your flaps no matter what setting. We don't want them. We want to increase and decrease flaps, which will do it in segments. So increase flaps, we're just going to use our D-pad down. Decrease flaps, we're going to use our D-pad up. So increase flaps, let's do this. Click in the box and click the D-pad down. I think that's by default anyway, the default settings, but they're pretty good. Decrease flaps, click in the box, D-pad up. All very straightforward. Be careful which ones you're setting up there for flaps. I'll show you these later, but that will increase and decrease in segments, not completely. We'll go back. It'll take us to the previous menu. It takes a while. I'm in Sim Update 4 recording this. This should be a lot quicker, but it's getting there. Flight control services. Trim. Control trimming services. So flight control services, control trimming services. Click in that submenu. I'm going to use quite a complicated one for this. We want to see elevator trim nose up and trim nose down. So scroll down the menu. Elevator trim nose up and elevator trim nose down. So it's there. Elevator trim nose up at the top of the menu. It's just a little bit further down. There you go. Trim nose up, trim nose down. We're going to use a shifter button. This is set by default as well, I think. But we're going to use the bumper as a shifter button. Holding down the bumper button does nothing. You've got to press another button for something to happen. So see it like that. See the bumper buttons on both sides. If you hold either down, we're going to set them up where holding them down by themselves does nothing. You have to select another button or action for something to happen. So it's like a shifter button. So we're going to use bumper button, and this is by default, for trim nose up, right analog stick down. So bumper button and right analog stick down together will trim our nose up. That's what we're going to set it. So for this one, you want to press both buttons at the same time. Right bumper button and analog stick down. Right analog stick down for trim nose up. So click in the box. Bit awkward with the mouse on my knee, but I can try this. And right bumper button, analog stick down. And you should have what I've got set in there. Right run, R1, right bumper, and analog stick down for trim nose up. That's right. And again, right bumper, analog stick up for trim nose down. Sounds like it's in reverse, but this works well in an aircraft. Trust me on this one. So click in the box. Right bumper, analog stick up. Oh no, see, that didn't work. It's actually gone all kinds. So I'll redo that. If that happens to you, just redo it. Can I get this? I don't just want... Right, okay. There we go. Third time lucky. So right bumper button, analog stick up. Bit awkward to do, but you just do it a couple of times, it'll be fine. We've got them set up, flaps and trim. Let's go and test it. Resume. So flaps, going to use my here are the flaps here. It's in 10 degrees at the moment. Use my D-pad up to retract the flaps. And D-pad down to increase them in segments. There we go. As you can see, it all works fine. So 10 degrees, 20 degrees, full flaps. Retract, retract, retract. Trim. What's this trim wheel down here? So right bumper, if I hold that down, it does nothing by itself, but move my analog stick up, right analog stick up, it's trimming my nose down. Holding my right bumper button again, right analog stick down will trim my nose up. This will make sense in the air. If you don't know what that does again, go and look at that playlist, that course I've linked down in the description. It will trim your aircraft out. It's all working fine. Let's continue. Okay, continuing. If I move my right analog stick, my view's not moving around. We've deleted those assignments. Let's put them back in now. So we get some views set up. So settings, controls, DualSense selected, get down to camera. Oh, sorry. DualSense selected. In this categories list, scroll down until we see camera. It's a bit further down, camera. Keep scrolling down. There you go, camera. So just do that again for new people. Categories, just scroll down. Camera. And click into it. And you want to click into the submenu of Cockpit Camera. There we go. And what we're looking for here, this is quite a large list, this Cockpit Camera submenu. Scroll down until you get to Cockpit as the first word, and then Lockable as the second word. There's no other way of doing this, I'm afraid, people. You could type it in. There is a different way. Oops, I've scrolled way past it. Lockable. Sorry, not the second word. Lockable as the end word. So from the top menu, scroll down till you see Cockpit, and then we're looking for Lockable as the last word. Get past the lockables. And after the word lockable, here, you'll see Cockpit look down, Cockpit look left, look right, look up. Ignore the look down left, look down right. You don't need to set them up, and they can be complicated. Just Cockpit look down, look left, look right, look up. We're going to use our right analog stick. Cockpit look down, move your analog stick down just by itself with no other button, just your analog stick. Look left, move it left, your right analog stick. Look right, move your right analog stick right. Look up, move your analog stick up. All very straightforward, I hope. So again, just for new people, scroll down this Cockpit Camera menu till you get to Cockpit as the first word. And we're looking now for lockables as the last word. There we go. And we're going to get past them to get down to Cockpit. Look down, look left, look right, look up. You could type it in the box here, but to be honest, it's probably easier in this menu because then you've got them all in front of you rather than having to retype each word. So look down, click in the box and move your right analog stick down. And you should see that icon, right analog stick with the down icon beneath it. Cockpit look left, click in the box. And right analog stick right. Look right. Sorry, left. Right analog stick, left. Too many left and right, isn't there? Cockpit look right. Click in the box. Right analog stick, right. And Cockpit look up. Right analog stick, up. And there we go. We got them set up. Shall we test that? Before we do that, scroll down a little bit further. I think it's there. There should be a Cockpit reset. Cockpit view. Where is it? Actually, I'm not sure where it's... reset Cockpit view. So it's actually past more lockables. So after you finish with them, scroll down again so you see more lockables at the end. And then after the lockables, you should have reset Cockpit view. It'll mean if you're looking around the cockpit, you can reset your view. We're going to click in our right analog stick. It's got a clickable button if you click it in. So click in Reset Cockpit View, start scanning, and yep, that's it. That's the button clicking in our right analog stick. If that's gone too fast, take your time. Re-watch this part. It's timestamped for you. You can re-watch it until you get it right. And we'll go and test that. Save and back. Resume. Look around. Yeah, it works. Right analog stick. I can look around. By the way, you can speed up that motion if you like. Let me show you that. Get to your settings menu. So settings, go to settings. This time go to general, not controls, general. And camera. So general, camera. In cockpit camera there, if you look down, you've got something called a free look speed. So I can make that quicker or slower. Let's make it quicker. Let's make it really quick. 71% will do. Resume. You know, I can look around my cockpit a lot quicker. Actually, I quite like that. Yeah, I quite like that. 71% will do for me. If I'm here, I want to reset my cockpit view. Click in your right analog stick. It will reset your cockpit view. There you go. That's the cockpit view set up. Let's continue. So continuing, I hope most of you are with me. We've got our cockpit view set up. How about external? I can't get to my external view. I want to get to my external view. Let's do this. Let's go to settings. And we'll go to controls. So settings, controls, as always. And we got our DualSense selected. So we know we're affecting that. And we got our profile set up. We'll go. Scroll down the categories to camera again. So scroll down a little bit further down. Camera. And we want to set up, well, first we want to get to external mode. And that's under camera mode switches submenu. So camera, camera mode switches. And it's toggle, well, it's actually called cockpit external view mode. It will toggle you between cockpit and external view. Now, I've tried to set up this button here, and I can't set it up. Let's try it. Won't let me set that up. I think it's saved by the system for a default setting. I think that's VR mode, isn't it? When it comes for PlayStation. So if I click in that, yeah, it's not letting me select that button. So I'm going to use, and it's up to you whichever button you want to use. I'm using my left D-pad button to toggle between cockpit and external mode. So click in the box and then click on your left D-pad button. There we go, that's set up. And we don't have that set up for anything else yet. We're going to set up a couple more things with the D-pad later, but we're going to use the shifter button, which I'll show you in a moment. Let's just test that. Resume. D-pad left, yeah, external mode, but using my right analog stick, I can't move around because I've not set them up. Let's set them up. Go to settings. Controls. Slow down, Hudson. In the categories, scroll down. Slow down and scroll down. To camera. So categories, camera. And we want to get to external camera sub-menu. And go past, in this sub-menu, go past the lockables. And you've got, similar to cockpit, external view, look down, look left, look right, look up. We're going to use our right analog stick. Don't worry, if you're in cockpit mode, obviously you won't be looking around externally because you're in cockpit. Once you click on your button to go external, then you can use your right analog stick again. And it's set up like that by default to look around externally. So you can set it up for a few different functions if you're in different view modes. So don't worry about that. External view, look down. Obviously, again, right analog stick down, look left, right analog stick left, look right, right analog stick right, look up, right analog stick up. So we're just setting up the right analog stick again for all these different functions in external mode. External view, look down. I hope that's you're following that. Just do what I'm doing here. Right analog stick down, external view, look left. Right analog stick, look left. Left rather. Look right. You've got it. Hope right analog stick right. And external view, look up. click in the box, and move your right analog stick up. Straightforward. So you should have the same, it should say R for your right analog stick, down, left, right, up. Okay. And we can test that. We're in external mode. Let's move around. Yeah, I can look around externally smoothly. Very nice indeed. Press my left D-pad button to get into my cockpit, and I can do the same here. Fantastic. Let me show you a couple of advanced settings. So I'll show you a couple of advanced settings here. I want to get down to this left Garmin system so I can see all my autopilot buttons, which we'll be setting up later. I want to get buttons set up so I can do that quickly. Now I can use my right analog stick to look there and use my mouse to scroll in, but there's a better way of doing that. Let's reset my cockpit view to the way it was. There we go. And go to settings. Settings. Controls. Settings, controls as always. DualSense should be selected. We've just been altering that. And again, it's going to be camera. So scroll down to categories, to camera. And we want to type in, actually we didn't need to do that. We could just type in, I'm going to show you a different way to search for things. We could type in this box here, click in the box. On your PlayStation, if you're just using a controller, you'll have a keyboard come up. But I'm using PC, so I can just type in previous pilot. And what this will do, it'll bring up the controls relating to what you typed in there, if there's any controls. There is previous pilot position. We're going to use a shifter button again. We're going to use our left bumper this time and D-pad down. Remember, D-pad down and up are for our flaps. But if we've got our left bumper held in, we can... Sorry, not left. Yeah. If we've got our left bumper held in, we can use our D-pad up and down for a different function, as long as we use a shifter button, which we're using... left bumper. So left bumper, D-pad down for previous pilot position. So again, you're going to have to click in the box and click both these buttons at the same time. Left bumper, D-pad down. We're using our left bumper as a shifter button. I hope that makes sense. So click in there. Yep. D-pad down, left bumper. And while we're here, I'm going to click in this box to bring up another control. That'll be next pilot position. So just type in next pilot. It's a quick way of searching for controls. Sometimes it will do that still. So next pilot P position. Thank you. And left bumper and D-pad up. So hold them both down together. Click them both together. Left bumper. We're using that as a shifter. D-pad up. Click in the box. And there we go. Left bumper, D-pad up. Hope you followed that. That's more advanced, but it's not too difficult. Let's just go back, resume. Be careful. If you want to affect this, I'm going to bring out my view so I can see where my flaps are. There we go. If you want to get to that previous, basically what this will do is take us down to our left G1000. Let's click the left bumper and D-pad down. You've clicked it a couple of times, but look, we're straight on that screen. To get back to our previous screen, hold your left bumper button in, D-pad up. And with any luck, our flaps have not been affected because we held our bumper button. It hasn't. It's just a quick way to get down to the screens. If you go back to your normal position, left bumper D-pad up, it'll take you over the nose of your aircraft, so when you're coming into land, it'll give you a good view of where you are in relation to the runway. Very handy setting, and you can do more. That's just to get you started, and we'll leave that there for views. We'll get to autopilot controls next. Okay, continuing, shall we have some autopilot fun? So we'll go to settings and go to controls, always the same place, and make sure your DualSense is selected. We'll scroll down the categories till we get to autopilot. And in autopilot, there's a lot of menus here. Now let's go slow on this because this can be complicated for people. Under autopilot main menu, go to general sub-menu. And we've got toggle autopilot master. It will toggle your autopilot on or off. If you don't know what autopilot is, go and look at the course I've linked down below for new pilots. And I did a video about autopilot. For this, we're going to select left bumper. Remember, we've got our left bumper as a shifter button. Holding it down by itself will do nothing. You've got to press another button with it. Left bumper and triangle to toggle our autopilot master. Put these where you want, but this works for me. Left bumper and triangle. That's toggle autopilot master. I'm going to use heading on the square, toggle heading hold, and I'll show you what that does later. And for the circle, we're going to use nav1. Basically, if you've got a course setting, it will follow your GPS. So we'll do heading first. Submenu heading. Toggle autopilot heading hold. So for this, left bumper as a shifter and square. Left bumper and square. So start scanning. Take your time. This one you might have to watch a couple of times to get used to it, but it's not difficult. We're just using our left bumper as a shifter and pressing square. I'm going to close. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to close those menus. So we're back to the home menu. This sort of all the categories under autopilots rather. For the next one, we're going to use nav. And this will open up a menu. Click open up the submenu nav. And it's nav1 hold on, I believe, to follow, to put it into nav course. We can test this in a second, actually. So click in the box, and for this one, left bumper and circle. Click in the box, left bumper and circle. That's great. Let's go back and test these. In fact, I'm going to go back, save and back. Going to go to main menu. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about that. If my voice crackles on this part, it does the way I'm recording. For some reason, it will crackle sometimes or cut out slightly. Free flight. Go and look at the course I've linked down below. I showed this on my autopilot video, but I'm going to set a course, quick course from Manchester to Birmingham to test these settings I've just set up. Set as departure at Manchester, Birmingham. Set as arrival. So, left click Manchester, set as departure, which we did. Birmingham, set as arrival, and we'll start flight. Good. Good. I'll avoid talking there because that's when my voice can cut out. So, do you remember the buttons we set up before? Left bumper and D-pad down to get down to this left G1000. We can test the autopilot. So left bumper and triangle together. Hold your left bumper down. Press your triangle button. Autopilot's on. Left bumper, I'm holding it in and pressing my square button. Heading's on. Because we set up a course, it should work. Left bumper and circle. GPS. It means if we were in the air, can I use my right analog stick? I can to look around because we set them up before. Right analog stick on my DualSense. You can see we've got a course set in. So if we were up in the air, it will be following our course. And to turn autopilot off, left bumper and triangle. Autopilot's turned off. And in fact, left bumper and square, even though I've not got autopilot selecting, we can just select heading mode because I'm going to do a few more things with heading. Left bumper, D-pad up to get to our default view. Autopilot setup. Let's show you a couple of advanced settings with autopilot. So a couple of advanced settings. Let's get to our menu. I press my pause button on my, or the button on my DualSense to get to the menu. I'm using my DualSense at the moment. Settings. It's in my hand, why not? Go to controls with my right bumper. There we go. DualSense selected. Now, for this one, we're going to type in the search box again. Click in the search box. and type in increase head. That will do. Only one thing will come up, well, a couple of things, but we want to increase our heading bug. I'll show you what this does. We're going to use the left bumper again, but this time, increase heading bug, we're going to use our right D-pad. So left bumper and right D-pad button. Do this if you want to. This is not necessary, but it's quite useful. So click in the box. Left bumper and D-pad right. There we go. Left bumper, D-pad right. Click in that search box again. We're going to delete all that. Decrease. I'm going to type in decrease head. Sometimes it'll go back to these main categories. So heading. There we go. Decrease heading. Left bumper. Left bumper as a shifter. And left D-pad to decrease the heading bug. Left bumper, left D-pad. There you go, left bumper, left D-pad. Let's show you what these do. This is advanced, so if you've got the other parts down, you want to give this a try, give it a try. Let's get down to our left G1000. Left bumper, D-pad down. Holding down my left bumper, watch the heading bug here. If you're in heading mode, your aircraft will follow your heading bug. Go and look at my course on my Autopilot video. I explained all that. Left bumper, left D-pad. Look, it's moving that heading bug around. If I'm in heading mode in Autopilot, my aircraft will follow that heading bug wherever I put it. Left bumper, left D-pad, left and right D-pad to move that heading bug around. That is brilliant what you can do. Okay, my friends, let's continue. Now, there were a couple of functions that were set in by default that we deleted. When we deleted all bindings, we deleted a function, which was very useful. I'll show you what it is. Lets you lock on to certain knobs and switches and lets you alter them with your controller. Let me show you that. Go to settings. So settings, controls, always the same place. Make sure your Dualsense is selected, and it is. I've got the picture. Just going to type in the search box here. Interaction. Interaction. Lock. And only one thing will come up. Basically, we're going to set our X button. It's throttle. Don't worry about that. I'll show you. It won't affect it too much. We're going to click in Interaction Lock. Press the box to start scanning and press your X button. And a 1 will come up because we've already assigned it to throttle. That's why you've got the 1 there. Don't worry about that. Click in this search box again. And interaction. By the way, if you're on an Xbox controller, you can set this up as well. If you're setting up from scratch, it'll work the same way. Interaction unlock. We're going to use our circle button. Click in the box. Click your circle. And there you go, we got them set up. Sounds complicated, don't worry, it's not. I'll show you, just follow what I'm doing. For this next one, we'll clear all that. And we're going to type in Cockpit Interaction. Interaction. And all these things will come up. We're after this one. Once you've typed that in, you should see this if you're on PlayStation. Cockpit Interaction X-axis lockable. Make sure it's lockable. So what you can do there, we're going to click on that. We're going to use our, it's an axis. So we're going to move our right analog stick left or right. I'll move it left. Whichever, left or right. Just move your analog stick left or right once you've started scanning in this box. Cockpit Interaction X-axis. Make sure you're doing the right one. Lockable. And click in the box. Move your right analog stick. Right or left. I'll move it left. There we go. And it will come up with this icon. Left or right. Shall I show you what these does? This might sound confusing. So let's show you what this does. I'll come down to left bumper, D-pad down to get down to my left G1000. I'm going to use my right analog stick to look around. Notice that dot. You should have that on PlayStation as well. I'm going to click on my heading. And you can see there, X to interact. Let's click X. It's locked onto it. I can adjust, watch the heading bug to your right there. See it moving around? I'm just using my right analog stick, left or right. Left and right, rather. Look. To quit, to get out of that, it's your circle button. It says it there. Press your circle button to come out of it. We can try that with altitude. Autopilot altitude. See that number 2100 top right there? Exit into that. Let's lock onto it. Let's move our right analog stick. There you go. I can adjust the autopilot assigned altitude. Circle to quit. So that's what that does, and it's very useful. I would put that back in, follow what I did there, and put them back in. Okay, my friends, if you're still with me, well done. It's been a long video. It's a long one to record, trust me. Just a few more settings, then we can go for a test flight and alter some sensitivities. So we're going to go to controls. So settings, controls. And we're going to type in controls, make sure your DualSense is there, toggle visual assistances. Just type in toggle visual in the search box. Toggle visual, so if you just start typing it in, there's only one command. This turns off your waypoint markers, so airport markers, landmark markers. Very useful. I always advise people to have that. Toggle visual assistances display. We can click in that, and we're going to click in our left analog stick, so it's got a clickable button if you click it in. We're going to use that to toggle visual. I think that's there by default. We're going to keep it the same. Hey, that's there. There's also EFB. It's also very useful to bring up your EFB with a button, with a binding. So just click in the search box, remove Viz. We've still got toggle EFB. There we go. Toggle EFB. We're going to use our left bumper and right bumper. We're going to use our left bumper as a shifter and press our right bumper to bring up the EFB. So click in the box, left and right bumper together. Just a suggestion, you can put this wherever you want. I like it here. There you go, left and right bumper. I'll show you this in a moment. One last thing, toggle active pause. I don't have anything set up for my right D-pad at the moment by itself. So why not? We can do it from here. Toggle, remove EFB, active. There you go. Toggle act will bring up toggle active pause. Right D-pad. And that'll just let you pause if you're in the flight. You need to go to the toilet, or you need just to, if you're following one of my lessons, you need to pause your flight. It will toggle the world. Your aircraft will pause. The world will fly around you. If you're in a multiplayer flight, you'll see people fly past you. Very handy. Toggle active pause. We got there. Let's test these. So which ones do I set up? Toggle visual. See the toggle visual. Let's get external. See that Manchester Airport marker there? Toggle visual assistance display. Left clicking in my left D-pad. Sorry, my left analog stick. It's been a long day for me, hasn't it? I can toggle them on or off. We'll keep them on. EFB, left bumper, right bumper together. Hold down your left bumper, press your right bumper. EFB's come up. And with that, I've done videos about the EFB. I'll link one down below. It's quite advanced, but there you go. You can see our course, see where our aircraft is. Left bumper, right bumper. We can hide the EFB. Toggle active pause. I'm not in the air, but you should see my aircraft pause regardless. Right D-pad. Maybe you won't see it pause. But if I go up here, you should see the icon. Yeah, it's gone blue. See it? Press it again, and then we're on pause. If we're up in the air, you'll just see your aircraft pause in the air. Wow, we did it. We set everything up. Let's go for a fly and test. Okay, test flight time, and we'll try some of these settings. So I'm going to release my parking brake with my triangle button we set up before. Increase the throttle using my X button. Using my rudders. Those adaptive triggers are fantastic on a DualSense. I didn't realise they did it on PC as well. Increase the throttle full. We'll get to around 60 knots or so. if this confuses you, go and look at my course again. I'll mention it again. 60 knots to take off. Pull back on my left analog stick. Oh, it's a bit sensitive. Moving left, right, up and down. Oh, no, no, no. Not keen on that. Let's alter some sensitivities. Let's go to settings. Now, controls. Settings, controls. See if I can remember where to find this. I believe a mouse would be most useful here. Firstly, go to search by input. Click in the box and move your left analog stick left. Aileron axis, there we go. It just comes up, aileron axis in fact. Move it up and down, it should be elevator axis. Yeah, that's fine, you didn't need to do that. Click on the cog icon next to your DualSense controller. So this cog icon. And hardware settings. So cog icon, hardware settings. And it will take you basically to your sensitivities. What I want to do here, yeah, I want to make that less sensitive in the left and right movement and pitch axis up and down. So I'm going to put these to 0.2 to begin with. Plus and minus sensitivity, or you'll get a strange reaction. Make them both the same. And, you know, people, I'm adjusting these. Do it to your liking. If you find it too sensitive, turn them down. If you find it not sensitive enough, turn them up. They're too sensitive, I'm turning them down. That's my left and right movement, my aileron's pitch. I'll do the same. Minus and plus. This is just a rough guide. Do it to your liking. People say, what sensitivities do you use? Test them. See how they feel and turn them up or down yourself. I always say that to people. Now, moving my right and left analog stick down, it's better. Could I adjust them? Actually, it's not too bad. Well, it's a bit sensitive in the pitch still. Settings. Controls. DualSense Controller. Cog icon. Hardware settings. Cog icon, hardware settings next to your DualSense. Pitch. Let's just make that less sensitive. Let's make it... Ooh. 32. There you go. Save and back. Save and back. Resume. So when I'm moving it down now, oh yeah, that's much better. Much better. Where's my heading bug? It's right in front of me. Autopilot. So left bumper, autopilot on. It's in heading mode. Left bumper, move my heading bug to the left. And left D-pad. Like we set up before. There we go. Left bumper. Right D-pad. I can move myself to the right. Let's remove those waypoint markers. And there we go. Autopilot off. Left bumper. Triangle. I've got control of the aircraft. And I can go for a fly. I'll tell you what, my friends. I'm going to leave it... Oh, actually trim. It's trimmed up a wee bit. So, right bumper. Right analog stick down. Up a bit, just to make sure we got a climb. I'm going to leave it there, my friends. I hope this has been helpful to you. Let me know down in the comments. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon.